everybody, and welcome to Belgrade, Serbia. It's the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament B, the deciding day. And we're going to start things off with Nigeria against Mali. Well, everybody doing the calculations and looking at what it's going to take to make it to the World Cup. These two teams wanting to represent Africa at the 12-team FIBA Basketball World Cup, FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Sydney, which tips off on September 22nd and runs until October 1st. Which one is it going to be? Coming into this game, we've got China and Nigeria up at the top of the standings, followed by France and Mali, and of course Nigeria coming off that huge come-from-behind win over France to shock the world. And now they will battle Mali in the hope of clinching their spot in the World Cup. And we'll talk about that. First, let me introduce my colleague, Shona Thorburn, and I'm Jeff Taylor. And Shona, basically, Mali know they will qualify if they get their first win, but also win by 7 points or more.
Exactly, Jeff. We know it, they know it, Nigeria knows it. Mali, to qualify, have to win by 7 or more. If they don't, basically they're putting the qualification in the hands of another game that's going to happen later tonight, and that's not what you want to do. After watching Mali in their first game, I really thought they had a chance of qualifying. And
that's the trophy, the Ivan Raposo Trophy, by the way, which is going to go to the winner of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. It's been remodeled, and this will be the first time the latest trophy is unveiled. You can see that Joaquin Brizuela and Mali know there's a real opportunity here. They'd like to win by 7 points or more. They don't want their fate to be decided later on. Nigeria know if they get the win, they're in. And you know what can we say about this Nigeria team? They came here a little bit, shall we say, shorthanded. A lot of question marks. You know, is this a team that can continue to move in the right direction? And they certainly had the worst start possible in both of their games, against China and against France. But they summoned something from within themselves that perhaps only exists in a team that has won 3 consecutive FIBA Women's Afrobaskets. And they came back and just gave us a performance really of the ages, something that even now we're still talking about.
I think we'll be talking about it all game, Jeff. It was absolutely incredible. Down 22 France, and they come back and win by 2.
So we are going to hear the national anthems now for both Mali and Nigeria.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of Nigeria. Dame i gospodo.
Otis Hewley, the coach of Nigeria, going to shake hands of Joaquin Brizuela. The guys know each other. Of course, they coached against each other last year. And Hewley, I'm sure, saying you've done a great job with this Mali team. Best of luck. Nigeria won against Mali in the final of the FIBA Women's AfroBasket last year in Cameroon. And it's just so exciting to watch African basketball. Whether it's the men's or the women's, and for me, it might be the most important story how well these teams have played and what they've had to overcome. Karen Baki, Johnny Batista Palermo, and Mikel Maniste are refereeing this all-important game that Mali need to win by 7 points to seal their place in the World Cup. If they do not, but they win by less than 7, then they would need France to win over China.
Really, you know, when it comes down to it, Jeff, you don't want to put your fate in another team's hands. You know, we've seen it throughout tournaments you and I have done. We saw it this summer in Tokyo. You know, you're sitting around waiting to see what happens in other scores. So for me, both these teams, you know, Mali needs to win by 7 or more. Nigeria. And
here's who they're starting with: Asitu Traore, Tuti Gandega, Maya Terera, the captain, Sika Kone, the sensation that everybody's talking about, Geneva Njai, who has the ability to go off and hit those long shots. But they've got some surprise players as well on the bench. No Sangari, unfortunately, number 2. She got injured in the first game, a knee injury, but Koulibaly, number 1, Traore, Sissoko, Dabu, just 17. What an exciting talent. And Brizuela, if it doesn't happen now here for the Spanish coach, who is based in Madrid, in fact, if it doesn't happen now for Mali, it will happen. That is his firm belief. They are on the road, the right path to be a great basketball team in Africa and then possibly international basketball. Promise Amukamara, Adara Elonu, Antonia Yangifa, Odora Cheatham, and Victoria Macaulay, who was utterly sensational in the win over France. And then Okonkwo, who's been a revelation. And below her, number 3, Palace. And Akaraiwe Musa and Abossi has had her moments of being great. And of course, Ify Abekwe, who unfortunately for her, for the 3rd straight game, is not able to play for Nigeria. So Otis Hewley was hoping that she would be available, and I don't know if maybe she could be available. She's obviously not fit, and he feels like really what he saw the other night, he's convinced that they can win without her.
Yeah, you know, I did ask about Ify Abekwe, and they said it would be a game-time decision. They're going to see how her practice went yesterday, so clearly she's not ready. And like you said, I mean, they beat France, number 5 team in the world, by 2 points, being down 20. So he knows that his team can win without her.
Well, it's always been an Ify proposition whether or not she would play, and Ify is not going to play. So we are, again, basically it's a rematch of the FIBA Women's AfroBasket Final. Obviously, some players not able to go, some players not here. Azina Kalu of Nigeria not here, one of their most important players, the point guard. But Promise Amukamara has really stepped up in her absence, played big minutes and done very well. And Shona, we talked about in our experts, you know, they asked us to be experts. Well, I certainly wouldn't call myself an expert. And when they say who is the most important player in the Mali team, who's the most important player in this Nigeria team, I don't like answering that question, because as good as Macaulay is and was, you know, all of these players, they have to be on the same page to come out for Nigeria to be successful today.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen by both these teams. You know, we can sit here and talk about Macaulay, Nakamura, maybe Chidham, and then, of course, on the other side, Tuti Gandega, Kone. But every game so far, I mean, Mali's stuck around, eh? They haven't been blown out of the water. Yeah, they ended up losing a little bit. You know, the score became maybe larger than they wanted against China, but they hung around for a really long time. And same thing with Nigeria. Everyone at certain points in the 40-minute game, the 2 games that we've seen between these 2 teams, a player has stepped up, and it's not the star players, but a player has stepped up and done what they needed to do and scored in big moments for their teams.
Well, hello everybody, and we are underway here in Belgrade, the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament. And tournament B, and it's Nigeria and Mali. Mali in the red, Nigeria in the white. Nigeria winning the opening tip. Mali need to win by 7 or more to be assured of clinching their spot in the 12-team FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Sydney, which will tip off on September 22nd. And Chittum, terrific, backing her way down, and there is the offensive rebound by Yingifa, and she is fouled, and simply that cannot be allowed to happen for Brizuela's Mali to give this Nigeria team second chances.
Yeah, good job there. I thought, you know, Chittum's shot was well defended. But again, you know, I've talked throughout this tournament, defense doesn't stop when the ball goes up. You got to box out and get the defensive rebound. She misses front end of her 2 shots, but look at that, Jeff.
Another one.
Offensive rebound for Nigeria.
And driving in, and another opportunity for Nigeria. So a little bit of a shaky start from Mali, and Promise Amukamara still in attack mode.
And you know, I mean, I think what's more concerning, Mali have already fouled twice and given up 2 offensive rebounds. It's going to be a long quarter if they get into foul trouble early.
So Nigeria take a 2-0 lead, or 2-0 lead, 2-0 lead, and already Chayori comes out with 2 fouls. I'm not sure that's a bad development for Mali, considering how well the number 12 played in the last game.
Yeah, Koulibaly, she stepped up, had a couple of big threes, aggressive drives to the basket for them.
I think, in fact, she was my X factor for them, because she was so solid. And there's a foul. And I think we were both kind of surprised by how well Mali's reserves played in their last game against China, considering some of them didn't even get off the bench in the first game. And Brizuela knows that it's got to happen for them, especially on the defensive end. If Nigeria have an advantage, I think it's their skilled players offensively are able to make some more shots. But it was a long 3. Macaulay with the rebound. I think, Shona, I think it's all about Mali putting pressure on this Nigeria team, making them work. They've got the deeper bench. They got to use that to their advantage. Promise Amukamara gets in, and there's the rebound, offensive rebound, another one, and finally, Kone. She owned that paint against France. Now Njai gets it down low to Terera, the captain. And Kone, offensive rebound. Tuti Gandega, good. Well, Tuti hasn't been knocking down a lot of shots in this tournament. She's played well. And now the turnover, the good pressure by Njai, and Elonu not able to hold on to the basketball. Njai from downtown, and Mali. That's what they need, a little bit of early success, perhaps, to get on their way.
It took them a couple minutes to warm up, to wake up, but I think they're ready to play now, Jeff.
Now Macaulay, Elonu, just so cool, calm, and collected. You know, talk about MVP. She very easily could be this MVP. She was the FIBA Women's Afrobasket MVP last year. And she is about as steady as they come, a performer. Outside, another one from Njai, fouled. by Promise Amukamara. It looked like Njai knew the pressure was coming and might have even stuck her leg out. It'll be interesting to see the replay.
You saw Njai.
Yeah, she definitely kind of invited the call.
We saw her do the same move, I think it was the first game day against France, no?
And Abassi comes in for Promise. And really, it's a mistake. No matter how you slice it, whether it's a good call or not by Nigeria, you have got to make a team that shoots about 18% from three-point range hit their shots. There's no need to even put yourself at risk. Njai's hit some threes, but not many. And now the offensive rebound comes into play. Kone kept it alive, and McCauley goes for the steal. Watch this again. You know, Kone was so effective on opening night against France that we just expected her to really follow through with that against China, but Lee Yueru really won that battle. And now the ball thrown away goes out of bounds.
It's also, I mean, keep in mind, Kone, she's 19 years old. She had close to a perfect game. I mean, shooting-wise, she had a perfect game against France, but close to a perfect game. 26 points, 10 of 10 shooting. It's hard to follow that up.
Goodness me, what a catch and shot off the window. Yeah, you're right. She's 19. It was a hard act to follow.
I mean, you know, for any incredibly skilled basketball player, I think that's hard to follow up that kind of a performance.
Long rebound. Here's Kone. Is she going to go to work? Yes, she is. And she powers her way up. Good defense by Yengifa. She's not going to be able to do much more. Chittum. Oh, good footwork. Turn.
Great job. You know this game is going to be physical. This tournament has been physical. I think the refs have really let them play, but especially these two teams. Njai, maybe not the best shot. Chittum running.
That's what she did so well, is again against France. And Tereda commits the foul. Wants her to earn it at the line. I got to tell you, Shona, that these qualifying tournaments have exceeded expectations for me. I mean, the storylines, the way these teams have battled in an attempt to get to the World Cup, and it has certainly added a lot of spice to the events. And well, Mali's still on top. Been very surprised by how good Mali has been. They have really been tough. And that is, oh, what a shot by Tereda. I thought she was going to have that blocked.
Yeah, I don't know how she really got it off. Nice pass by Kone.
My biggest concern was how was Mali going to score in this matchup. Remember, they got to win by 7 to automatically to know they're on the road or that they'll be on the plane to Sydney. Abassi turns, puts it up, can't get the drop. There will be no panic at all by Nigeria. Kone, and very slow to get over. McCauley reaches in and commits the foul. I mean, you know, she might have gotten all ball, but if you're swiping down on the ball that hard from up high, look at this.
Maybe she got ball, but there was a lot of body
right
as well.
I mean, the main thing about Mali was they simply could not afford to fall behind early.
I mean, that being said, both these teams in their first 2 games, especially Nigeria in the last game against France, but even Mali, I don't feel like they start very fast. You know, it took them a while to kind of wake up in their games. Today, different story. I think both of them, you know, Mali took a couple minutes to get on the board, but both of them are here ready to play as soon as that.
Oh, Macaulay. And wow, what can you say? I mean, that's just quality right there.
And you know, again, Macaulay, we know about her, you know about her, and she had a slow start to this tournament. You know, you can't really tell me she did much on opening night for Nigeria, but boy, has she come through since then. You know, they lost to China, it was, on opening night, and she just didn't look like the Macaulay we're used to seeing. And all of a sudden, against France, it was a completely different player.
Tereda comes out and gets her first breather. Koulibaly in. Chittum to Macaulay, and she saves it in bounds. Elonu back to Macaulay. A little bit hard. And getting away from it. Here comes Koulibaly. Oh, pulled her way in there. Good hustle, Kone. And the foul called on Elonu.
Koulibaly with the aggressive take. And you know, those of you who have followed AfroBasket, trust me, it is a physical, aggressive tournament. So I knew coming into this game today, neither one of these teams, not a single player on the court is going to back down. They are going to play a physical game and fight for 40 minutes.
Chittum comes out, and Palace comes in. And Kone looks much better than she did against China, that's for sure. Takes the time, and now they're up by 5. Remember, they want to get to that 7-point mark or more and keep it. Easier said than done against this Nigeria team. Ngifa has it knocked out of her hands by Kone, gets it back. Elonu, she dumps it down low to Palace. And Palace goes up, and great offensive rebound and put back by Inabosi.
Again, Mali giving up another offensive rebound.
I'm really surprised that they're not winning that battle.
I mean, Nigeria is only credited with 4 offensive rebounds. It feels like, to me, they should have at least 6 by now.
So Macaulay with the kick, and then Njai has it taken away. Quickly, Elonu off ahead on the break. Is she going to go all the way? Yes, she is. Gets it back. Macaulay was ready to let it fly, but Mali came up, and now Palace passes over to Elonu. Shot clock about to expire. They got to hurry. And are they aware? And Inabosi lost track of time. I'm not sure that she's the player they want out there shooting the 3 anyway.
She was just put in a bad situation.
Yeah.
You know, you needed to get the ball inside to Macaulay on that possession. She had the mismatch, but unfortunately, everyone was kind of packing the paint.
Njai steps back. Koulibaly open. She's hit some 3s here. A little bit long. And Inabosi. Oh, what a pass up ahead to Palace. Ngifa trying to get it to Palace, who was posting up. And I don't know if Ngifa wanted her to roll to the basket. She was a little bit hesitant to make that pass, especially with Kone sagging. Here's Inabosi. She played well against France, and they get to Palace. Oh, Palace misses the layup.
Missed opportunity there. Both teams are going to be in bonus.
And Tuti Gandega, remember, trying to get up by 7 or more. Here's Kone! To a 5-point lead from Mali. Ngifa. Koulibaly trying to get the hands up. Great job, Elonu keeping it alive, but not able to corral it in Palace. How's Koulibaly? Good box out by Koulibaly after the shot, and then she's able to get the basketball on the long rebound. And because they're over the limit, free throws. So another opportunity for Mali to get something done at the line. Chittum back in for Macaulay, and Palace also goes out. Okonkwo comes in, who I almost put as my X factor, Okonkwo.
Yeah, she's had great minutes come in, giving them a lot of energy off the bench and scoring their last 2 games. Averaging 11.5 points per game at this tournament, 4 rebounds. She's kind of been an energy player. All of them play with a lot of energy, but you know, times when it looks like they're maybe getting a little tired, then all of a sudden Okonkwo just attacking the basket, going after rebounds.
Well, they can't afford to miss free throws, Mali. And a Balsi, nice spin. That's a 4-point swing after the missed free throws.
You know, both these teams had a day off yesterday to recover, to prepare. Keep in mind, this is 3 games. This is the 3rd game in 4 days for both these teams.
Oh, great job by Elonu, reaching in, knocking it away from Tuti Gandega. And as the point guard, overall, Tuti Gandega, that has not happened. And a rare mistake from her from that standpoint. There's Tuti outside. And oh, look at that. Drilling it, the youngster Dabu. The 3, just 17.
And the best part is Dabu didn't play in the first game for Mali. Had an opportunity game day 2, checks in, finishes with 11 points, I believe it was.
Okonkwo answers immediately. Yeah, I wanted to make her my X factor as well, but in the end, I think I didn't. Nigeria now within 2 points. Koulibaly gets in. Oh, nice finish with the left hand. Amazing hairstyle. Koulibaly guarding Chittum, who drives in. And we'll have to settle for 2 free throws. Brizuela is going to use this time at the end of the quarter to rest Gandega and bring in Traore.
Nigeria ranked 15th in the world compared to Mali, who are 40th in the FIBA Women's World Rankings.
Remember, Nigeria, we're talking about what Mali needs to win to qualify. Nigeria, if they win, they do qualify. It'll be their 2nd win.
They win by 1 point, they'll be fine. They had that big win, 2-point win over France. Still lots of time on the shot clock, maybe an unadvised layup there.
It was. And Inabalsi, there's the follow from Palace. Couldn't get the drop, but Mali, they lead Nigeria 22-20 here at the end of the first quarter of this pivotal game at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament in Belgrade.
Well, we see it there. Nigeria not looking to shoot outside, but they are aggressively trying to attack the basket. Same with Mali. No one really settling. Mali, obviously. And Jai came in, hit a couple big three-pointers for them. Here, you see Tuti Gandega. Tuti Gandega seems a little tired to me after this first quarter. I imagine she's gonna, you know, be able to, you saw her come out at the end of the first quarter, get a little bit extra breather. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her back in early in this second quarter. We know what's on the line. It's a ticket to the Women's World Cup in September in Sydney, Australia. Mali know that they have to win by 7. Nigeria know that if they win by 1 or more, they're qualified. If the point spread, Mali wins by less than 7, they're gonna have to wait until around, I would say, 7:30 p.m. to find out the results of that China-France game to figure out who goes.
Well, folks, the QR code, scan it in, and you will have everything that you need to follow this competition. You'll go straight to the website and get all the latest news, stats, information. Doing it myself, in fact, just to make sure it's working, and indeed it does. How exciting is that? So for live stats and more, get that QR code, and you will have everything in front of you. I thought, as we look at Betty Thebrian, the former Spain International Center there, watching events here, I thought that the key for Mali would be all-out pressure a lot of this game, and we haven't seen it yet. And the reason why, the deeper bench, just with Promise Amukamara, really the only true guard, not even point guard, the true guard. And we haven't seen that, and it seems like Nigeria are kind of coping well with the pressure. If anything, they're the ones that are applying their pressure to Mali. Here is Koulibaly.
Yeah, you talked about Promise. She's in the court now. And Makamura, sorry, number 10 from Nigeria. Obviously, we're used to seeing the backcourt of Makamura and Kalu.
Goodness. What terrific work from Okonkwo.
And Kalu for Nigeria. Kalu injured, not able to be here and represent her country. So I think a lot of pressure, not pressure, but a lot of responsibility has been put on Promise and Makamura in this tournament, having to take the load of really playing point guard 40 minutes a game. We saw that incredible half-court shot at the end of the third quarter against France.
That's right, you just reminded me.
I mean, it's going to be a highlight of the tournament for sure. It was an incredible shot, and just the guts and grits that she played with this whole tournament in these previous 2 games. Today, she's only played around 3 minutes, has 2 points, but she did pick up those early 2 fouls.
And also fouled the three-point shooter.
Yeah, she had to go to the bench for a while.
Oh, sensational drive and move, but not able to finish it was Dabu. And now offensive foul on Okonkwo. Yeah. Yep. Hewley, get rid of the ball. 22 points for each team. How will Mali react if they fall behind? Well, Traore hits it from the baseline, the veteran. Nasir Traore.
Mali back up on top. Chidham. Tough layup, well defended there by Koulibaly.
And Traore off the back of the cup. Promise Amukamara up to Chidham. Look at him swing it. Inabossi gets to the paint and earns a trip to the line. Good aggressive play by Inabossi, who really surprised me by how well she played against France. She was tough. And this is a good move by her.
I do think, you know, if you look at the bench of both these teams, maybe Nigeria has a slight advantage over Mali. You know, they definitely have more experienced players on the bench.
They have less players on the bench, but more experience on the bench.
Yeah.
But then again, Dabu isn't experienced. She's 17, yet she's pretty darn good, isn't she? For Mali. And they want to check, is it the clock?
I believe it's the clock, yeah.
One thing for sure, Shona, we're not short of water.
We definitely want to make sure we're always
They're coming with a pint at the end of every quarter.
Of water.
Of water, yes. And great rebound by Kone. Oh, she missed the putback. And Kwankwo brings it back now. Inabosti again. And traveling. You know, I didn't recognize Kone there, but she's put her head up in a bun. Her hair up in a bun. I was like, is that Kone? And yeah, just a little bit of a shuffle of the feet, gets the travel. Now, the player with the ball, Dabu, is a 17-year-old, and she is going to be around for a long time.
Came in, game day 2. Oh!
Gets blocked by Yengifa. A little bit naive there with that attempt. And Yengifa bumped by Nasir Traore. Yeah, she kind of gave her a body block. So Nigeria can tie it and then take the lead, but she misses the first free throw, and those free throws are starting to get under the skin of Coach Hewley, the missed free throws.
Then you just saw number 4, Traore, huddle her players up. She wanted to talk to them. Not a captain, but one of the veterans of this Mali team, giving some of their veteran advice to the younger players.
So Macaulay comes back into the game. I saw a tweet the other day comparing Jonquel Jones to the female KD, Kevin Durant.
Oh, easily.
But what about Macaulay? I think she might even have more similarities.
Jonquel Jones with a big win today.
Yeah, Bosnia and Herzegovina winning over Japan in Japan.
Koulibaly missed that shot, and McNamara is pushing it.
Lonu and Nigeria are in front. And Macaulay was ready to be off to the races. They whip it. Traore, air ball falls right to Koulibaly, a break, and then she is fouled on the miss by Elonu. That is when an air ball is not a bad shot. I don't think Hewley is too enamored with, oh, doesn't drop.
No, but you know, that's the second foul of Elonu, number 11 for Nigeria. She's someone that you need to have on the bench for this Nigerian team.
You mean in the squad, or?
On the bench, sorry, on the floor. You do not want to see her on the bench, but
right.
She is going to have to come out. Coach Hewley does not want to take a risk with her picking up another foul. Okonkwo checks in for her.
Yeah, Elonu takes a seat. And also substitutions again coming back in from Mali. Kone takes a seat, and Nigeria with possession. And you look at the free throw shooting. A little bit better for Mali, but still they've had some important misses. Tough matchup for anybody here. Macaulay, oh, good job by Koulibaly and forcing the turnover. Oh, and then Macaulay pushes off Koulibaly.
Great defense there by Koulibaly.
Watch this at the end. Watch Macaulay. See if you can see her push. Oh, it goes away. Referee's getting them together now to talk about it as Traore looks on.
But I'm not surprised, Jeff. There's a lot of
physicality.
There's a lot of physicality going on in this game, but it's also a history between these two teams. You know, in general,
including the FIBA Women's Afrobasket.
Yeah, exactly.
Final several months ago. And Traore giving him a lift. The veteran.
By Traore. Tough shot by Traore.
And Nasira, who'd been relatively quiet the first two games.
Hadn't played a lot.
33 years of age. The second oldest player after Torreira. And good response by Yengifa.
Good job there by Yengifa. Realized she had a mismatch. We haven't.
And they're going to stop play just to check on Traore. So Inabasi's going to come back in. She just fell or kind of slipped. 13 on the shot clock. That allows Inabasi to come back into the game for Palace. Ooh. Tough drive and not finishing. It's difficult to finish against these Nigerians. Promise gets it, and Traore fouls from behind. Hewley felt like that was a little excessive and wants an unsportsmanlike foul. Ooh, yeah. I think they could go and review it.
Every coach tells you if you're going to foul, make sure they don't score. It's definitely what Traore did there. There was very little chance that basket was going to be made by Gifu.
I tend to think Hewley had a point there. Looked a bit excessive.
Contact.
What's your opinion? I've gotten them wrong this this tournament, so it means probably they got it right.
I don't think it was a dangerous foul by any means. You know, she was going for the ball.
Quick pass, and they share it, but it gets away from Nasira Traore, bounced over her head, and quick response. Ekwankwo fouled, and she goes up by Traore.
So good job by Nigeria here in the last couple minutes, getting defensive stops, and really just being aggressive going to the basket.
And now suddenly it gets a little bit harder for Mali. Remember, they need to win by 7 to clinch their spot. If they win, they would need help from France. If they win by not by 7 points. So they want to talk about it.
Dans l'attaque, mais le problème de l'attaque, c'est après de la défense. Ok, on va faire chose facile. C'est entrer à panier en bonne position. S'il y a en bonne position pour faire le tir, au final, on va continuer, on va arrêter, on va sortir les ballons à l'extérieur. Si nous savons un mètre et nous pouvons faire un tir, le faire avec la plus grande confiance. Mais pas faire quelque chose. C'est pas utile parce que le problème c'est pour la défense. L'équipe c'est très rapide. On va jouer avec calme.
Allez les filles,
avec la tête, mais la tête en attaque.
Allez, allez les filles.
Allez.
Défense.
Well, there you heard it. You know, I think he just wants them to be a little bit smarter on attack and not get in trouble having to get back. You know, they have been, you know, maybe taking unadvised shots on offense, difficult shots on offense, which isn't letting them easily get back and stop Nigeria. Nigeria are pushing the ball right now, and Mali is having a hard time stopping that. Nigeria only with 2 fouls.
Nigeria 9 of 16 at the free throw line. And it finally goes down. Hewley looks so has a word with his team. A little bit of relief to see the free throw fall. And the ball bounces away off, gets to Gandega, and oh, it doesn't drop. It does fall to Koulibaly, and then she is denied as she goes up. Here's Macaulay in the open floor. Spreads it out. Kwankwo and Yangifa, nobody boxed out. Mali guilty of ball watching. And this time, though, they get the hands up in the passing lane, and then the foul by Kwankwo, who helps up Traore. Nice sportsmanship.
She even apologized to her. I think she said, "I'm sorry." Hewley clearly not happy. I don't think he disagreed with the call. I think he was not happy
with the turnover.
With the turnover, and then the foul by Okonkwo, sorry.
Okonkwo, yeah. Mali's over the limit, but Nigeria committed 3 fouls. Traore banks it in. Wow. Well, she ends up being the X factor.
She really is. But you talked about that. You can talk about Kone has to have a big game for Mali. Maybe Macaulay has to have a big game for Nigeria. But you have to have those X factors, and they have to step up.
And she's one of the players that has a deep history with Nigeria. Traveling. And what's interesting to me as well is that, as you see the replay and the travel call, what's interesting to me is that Kone is such a big name, and everybody's talking about her, especially after that performance against France, but she's been sitting down for the last 3-4 minutes.
You know, her team is only down 3 without her on the bench, and I'm sure both coaches, I mean, Chittum's also been resting a lot more than we've seen her rest. Macaulay's been resting. I think both these coaches know they're going to need their players the last 20 minutes of the game in the second half. And, you know, if you can rest them now, go ahead and try and rest them and give them that, you know, little bit extra time so they're ready to go for the second half.
And Kone has come in. Shona obviously knows what she's talking about. She's a coach. And so Yangifa goes out, and Chittum is indeed going to come back into the game, perhaps matching the return of Kone. So Inabase is going to go out.
Been quiet today.
Oh, nice penetration, and just Kone did not catch the basketball. And hustling down, Palace just right there, and you're not going to get an easier shot.
Good job there by Promise, pushing the ball, had her head up the whole time. She knew where her teammates were. Miscommunication by Mali, but...
And double dribble. Nasira Traore with Mali down 5. Yep, good call.
Look at that, Palace wide open underneath the basket.
Uh-oh, Macaulay travels. She knows it. She's practicing the move, saying, I need to do it like this. Mali desperate for points and not a turnover. They are being outscored in this quarter, 14-7. It's been all Nigeria in the second. Good defense by Kone to deny, and into the hands of Koulibaly. And she steps back and then passes to Torreira. Look at that wonderful play by Mali. Finishing it was Kone.
Nice teamwork, nice passing.
There's promise. Amukamara. Kone going for the basketball. And it's going to be Nigeria basketball. It's just a tremendous battle.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the battle, and as hard as these two teams compete against each other, they still have respect for each other. You see them helping each other off the court.
Basketball inbounded to Elonu. And Traore is not going to give away the basket, but she is going to put Elonu back on the line.
That might be her third personal foul, Jeff, so that's, you know, for me, number 4, Traore for Mali. She disagrees. She's been excellent for Mali so far in this first half. So to see her have to go out.
But I think he's gotten a lot from her that he had not
expecting.
gotten. I don't know. It's tough. Obviously, you want to keep her in the game if she's playing well, but so instead we've got Dabu back in, and if there is going to be a player that's going to not struggle at the free throw line, it's going to be Elonu. She makes both. In fact, those are her first free throws, surprisingly, at this Women's World Cup qualifying tournament. Good job, and Yengifa fouling from behind Torreira. It's number 4 on Nigeria. That's her first foul. Tuti Gandega. Oh, called for carrying the basketball, palming.
So Tuti, a little quiet today, 3 fouls. She does have 4 assists, only 2 points.
Oh, she doesn't have 3 fouls. There's Chittum. And air ball into the hands of Kone. 3 turnovers. Here we go. And Obasi. And boy, there was a lot of body on body there. And then Yengifa, and now that's the Kone that we remember from France, starting to assert herself a little bit more on the boards. Torreira pulls up and clangs the 3-pointer off the backboard.
You know, these last 2 possessions, not sure that was a great 3-point shot, but also the offensive rebound by Nigeria. Pull it back out, you'll have numbers.
Ooh. Koulibaly. Now it's McCauley. And you can see why she's upset, Koulibaly, because she got her hand on this pass. Watch. Bam. Just McCauley just did not give up on it either. And because it's a foul and because they're over the limit, it's 2 more free throws. These will be the first 2 free throws for McCauley. She was 3 of 4 against France. And Hewley must be thinking, what in the world has happened to our free throw shooting? 12 of 20 as a team. 13 of 21.
I mean, the positive thing is that, Jeff, they've attempted 21 free throws.
Compared to Mali's 7 of 11.
11, exactly. So they're not shooting the ball great, but they've still made more free throws than Mali has.
And had they made those, boy, this would be a different story completely.
Exactly.
So Mali, in that sense, are fortunate. Koulibaly, little jump hook. Or jump push shot. Don't know how you describe that one. Back to a 4-point deficit. Mali staying within touch. And now forcing the turnover. Nope, they're going to keep it at this end. Dabu couldn't get to it. Good hustle by Palace. Promise is going to come back in with the 2 fouls.
35 seconds.
Is that a gamble that you want to take? I guess it doesn't really matter. He probably feels pretty confident. Entry pass, and Macaulay and Koulibaly just simply cannot give that one away. But I suppose Macaulay's going to be difficult to defend even if she catches it
Great pass,
outside.
nice read.
Mali cannot afford to fall any further behind here before halftime. Koulibaly into Torreira. Nice move from the veteran. Final seconds ticking off the clock. So Promise isn't going to launch it from half court. She is, though, going to put it up from 3. And guess what? What might be viewed as a minor gamble to put it in with the 2 fouls. Hewley knew what she was doing. She not only assisted on the previous basket with that inbounds pass, she comes down and hits another 3.
You and I questioned whether she should have checked back in.
Nigeria lead at 42-35 over Mali at halftime.
Well, Nigeria only 62% from the free throw line. They're doing a good job from 2. Mali maybe settling a little bit too much for outside shots at the 3-point line. They're only 2 of 11. Both teams rebounding, assisting the ball. Turnovers rather equal, and that's why the score is only +7 right now for Nigeria. And really those last, they scored 5 points in the last 35 seconds of this half, Jeff, when they checked back in Promise and Makamura. So clearly Coach Hewley made that right decision by putting her back in, where we were a little worried. You don't want her to pick up her 3rd foul going into halftime, and that's not what happened. She actually scored a 3 and assisted on the 2 points. So good job there. End of the half. We might be calling a Makamura, you know, like the go-to game time person and the shot clock situation, and the quarters, situations. Get the ball in her hands, because something good is gonna happen. You know, looking at the stats here, Sika Kone, I thought she's done well so far. It feels like she's been quiet, but Jeff, she has 10 points and 7 rebounds already. You know, you haven't felt her presence like you did in that first game against France. So I could see her coming out being a little bit more aggressive here in this second half. And what I mean by aggressive, not necessarily scoring, but maybe rebounding, getting on the floor, defending hard, which we have seen her do in this tournament. You know, big performance in my opinion by number 4, Nasira Traore, for Mali as well, but then she had to go to the bench because she picked up her 3rd foul there late in the 3rd quarter. And like you said, maybe, you know, they got more than they expected from her, so other people are going to have to step up. Tuti Gandega has been rather quiet here today, but I think she's doing great. What do you think about Nigeria, Jeff?
Well, I felt like they coped with some of the difficulties early on because Mali had the bright start and got some good contributions. Nigeria probably their own worst enemy by missing so many free throws, obviously. But I felt like it was only a matter of time before they got to grips with Mali and would take the lead. And here is Promise hitting that 3-pointer right at the end to kind of seal what was truly an excellent second quarter for them, because they outscored Mali 22-13. I don't think the pressure has really bothered them, and again, they've won the rebounding battle. They've edged it, so I think that's been good. You know, they're strong Mali. They're they're tough, and you know, they've got great skill players in Alonu and McCauley, and even Promise Amukamara hitting big shots. So far so good for Nigeria. We're at halftime. They lead it 42-35.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Passes it all the way to Plum on the opposite side. A beautiful power in for Plum.
And now look at Alex step into the pass, take it away, give and go, puts it up and in.
5-second shot clock differential, a little bit more. Don't want to foul. Oh, nice.
What a finish.
Wow, what a deep Charlton has to throw up the three, gets it!
Unbelievable. Carlton, sensational shot with the shot clock running down.
Isabella, ooh, high dribble. Oh, gets swatted by Park Jisoo. Gotta get the three, or they're gonna foul him so they don't let him take it. Nope, they get the block shot, and that's how it finishes incredibly. Well, Serbia's defense in the end.
Defensive effort by Russell. 3-on-2 going the other way. Collie with a little showtime.
Shot clock winding down.
Johannes likes this. Oh, you have got to be kidding me! Johannes outdoes herself yet again.
Throwing up a Hail Mary. Tracked down by Gray. She'll let the Stampede go past her. Feed down
Great
low,
pass.
no look to
Beautiful.
Andy. Wow.
Okay, she's got to hurry, Mukamara. She does get it off in time. Oh, she has done it! Promise Amukamara! A three-pointer just as she crossed half court. We have seen some basketball magic right here. Well, as Mali trail 42-35, you talked about it, Shona. Kone has certainly done her bit today. maybe it doesn't stand out as much. A quiet 10 points and 7 rebounds. How is that possible? But sure enough, Kone is leading her team, doing what she needs to do. And maybe, if anything, it's just the Nigerians, again, the 3-time champions of Africa, played at the Olympics. I mean, it's just a good basketball nation, and it's going to take an extraordinary effort today by Mali just to get a win, never mind to win by 7 points, which would clinch their spot in the World Cup. But they have been focused, Mali. They've really worked hard, and Kone has been solid. She's going to have to do even more in the second half for them to realize their aims.
Here you see the top scorers for Nigeria, Ilonu. Kind of a quiet 8 points for her. Hasn't forced shots, hasn't forced the situation. Doing what's needed of her. You know, when she has to defend, she's defending. When she has, for example, when she has to score, she's scoring, but she's letting the games come to her, which I really like. We did see her pick up, I believe it was her 2nd foul in this game, so that's something to think about. You don't want her to get into foul trouble and not see her on the court for Nigeria.
Well, she's the captain of Nigeria. She is steadying influence, and consistently excellent. And you can't, you know, it's good for Hewley to know that he's got a player that he's going to put out there that he knows exactly what he is going to get every single time. And she has delivered.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's, you know, she is very experienced. She is a veteran for this Nigerian team. She, you know, has a lot of basketball experience playing professionally over in Europe, Euro Cup teams, Euro League teams, in good leagues. So she is definitely someone who you would expect is a reliable, consistent force for Nigeria.
And also, you could probably say she's the best player in Africa. I mean, she was the MVP of the FIBA Women's AfroBasket last year. So, you know, we highlight the play of Macaulay because she was sensational against France. And, but again, it's all hands on deck in basketball, team game. Everybody has to produce. And I just think that Hewley's done a good job. I mean, I thought they were going to be dead in the water after watching Mali play on opening night against France. They were just relentless. They didn't give up. And the way that Nigeria have been able to kind of settle in, take their lumps early against China, and then get that win against France, that is some impressive stuff.
Do you notice that the common factor is France in that conversation, Jeff? So maybe teams just want to go out and put a show on against France. I mean, they are ranked number 5 in the world. So that, you know, could be a possibility. But there you saw it, some of the leaders for Mali at halftime. I talk about how I think Sika Kone, it's been a quiet 10 points. And it's just because she hasn't forced anything. She's hit her open shots. She has 10 points, 7 rebounds. You see that, Tuti Gondega, she's 5 assists. For Mali, she's been quiet offensively. She does have 3 turnovers, which is unfortunate and kind of unforced turnovers. And Makimura with 6 assists for Nigeria. Obviously, we talked about Ilonu and her presence and leadership to go along with, like you mentioned, you could possibly say at this moment, she is the best player from Africa. So it will be interesting. Keep in mind, I know we keep talking about it, but for those of you just tuning in, Mali with a win of 7 points or more will qualify for the FIBA Women's World Cup starting September down under in Sydney, Australia. Nigeria with a win will be automatically qualified as well. Doesn't matter how much they win by. If they win, they will finish this tournament 2-1. So they will qualify. If Mali wins by 6 or less, everyone is going to be, I mean, everyone following these 2 African teams are going to be on the edge of their seat when China takes on France at 6 p.m. tonight.
So fans getting some snapshots, some memories of today's events. So many good games. I suppose Serbia, Australia was a classic last night, the way Serbia won that game, coming from behind to beat a really good Australia. And France beating Nigeria. Excuse me, Nigeria beating France. That was for me, the best game of the tournament so far in terms of pure drama and the way the players played at the end of the game, making shot after shot after shot. But also you had Serbia, Korea. That was a terrific contest. Now, China has been the team that has kind of been pretty decisive in its wins, beating Nigeria and Mali. And then you've had the great games, obviously, in Osaka, where Canada led by 20 but lost in overtime to Japan. And then Canada were so impressive against Bosnia and Herzegovina, so they bounced back. And then, of course, Bosnia and Herzegovina winning against Japan today. Belarus supposed to be there, did not take part, weren't able to make the trip, so that kind of took some of the shine off that tournament. But at the end of the day, I think the way they've played, they've put even more shine on it. It's been really a great opportunity for all three of those teams. You talk about, again, as we look at some of the scenes here inside the Jerevica Sports Hall, that it's an opportunity for Canada under their new coach, Victor Lapena from Spain, to get some games. It's an opportunity for Bosnia and Herzegovina, who thought they would, you know, they were hoping to get to the World Cup. Well, they know they're going to the World Cup, and now they're going to the World Cup after a win over Japan. So that is a real confidence-building exercise for them. And it's just another opportunity as well for Japan to play at home in front of their fans and to remind everybody how brilliant they are. So it's just been a terrific, terrific exercise, in my opinion. Second half action underway. So also have to say Azania bringing the shine with Mark Clark as the commentators in Osaka. Second half action underway here. Nigeria winning it 42-35 over Mali. What do you think about the start here, Shona? I suppose really it's imperative for Mali. They cannot fall any further behind.
No, they can't. I mean, now or never, really. They know what's on the line, but you also, as coaches, you talk about the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. You have to set the tone. So let's see what Mali can do. Not what they wanted.
So Nasira Traore, who left with 3 fouls, trying to post up down low. And the clattering of bodies and the shot clock.
So another turnover for Mali. That's definitely not what you want to do out of halftime. We did see them start slow, Jeff. It took them 2 minutes to get on the board.
And Yangifa catches it down low, puts it up and in. And not to be negative towards Mali, but if they do not win this game, I don't think it really takes anything away from what they've achieved here. I think they've gone up in everybody's estimation the way they played. There is a hold by Elonu.
And Jeff, I believe that's her 3rd personal foul. Good veteran move there. Possibly, who was it? Sirera posting up. And Elonu is going to have to go out, Jeff.
Well, Traore barely gets it in. Kone on the baseline gets in. Oh, that's just inexperience right there. She's dribbling into trouble.
Yeah.
She's dribbling into 3 players, which means clearly somebody is open. If there's space in the court, which they were, she had Tuti Gandega, who was open out on the wing. So 12 teams will be at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. And the way things look right now, one of them will be Nigeria. If they win this game, they will punch their ticket And here is Promise Amukamara, and that was a big-time rebound by Kone. Like, okay, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Koulibaly pulls up on the break. Kone and Terera chasing it. They got a battle for their lives right now, Mali.
Yeah, they do. Maybe a little bit too quick of a shot there by Koulibaly.
That's a real battle. Nasir Traore and Yengifa. And here is Chittum. Gets it back. Promise over to Chittum, who gets to the baseline and into the lane, and she's fouled.
Good job there by Chittum. I thought she was going to settle for the three-point shot, but no, she ended up attacking the closeout. Gets to the paint for an opportunity for 3 points here.
So Chittum makes the free throw, and Nigeria with their biggest lead of the game, 12 points. And Traore has it knocked out of her hands by Macaulay. The ball goes off of Terera. Watch it again, great angle here.
Call, easy call there by the ref. Nice hands by Macaulay.
And the cutter. Oh, Okonkwo misses the layup. Kone. And great job by Kone to get the hands up.
You know, for me, I think that's inexperience there by Kone. I don't think that's a shot that they are looking for. In my opinion, go ahead, try and get Kone coming off a, you know, a cross-to-cross low screen or something. You want her to get the ball in the low post, short corner area, so she can at least attack. She's not the best outside shooter. I think she can and will become a better one. Oh, Chittum.
Oh, Chittum putting the pressure on Dabu. I just think technically speaking, you know, Nigeria have more than Mali, and that in this case, it is a deciding fact. It's, well, maybe not the deciding factor, but it makes it very difficult for Mali because they already have to match the physicality of Nigeria, and clearly you can look at Nigeria and they've got Chittum, they've got Elonu, they've got Macaulay, who. 3 players that can pretty reliable to make those open shots or make good drives into the lane. Even Promise Amukamara has been tough. So good job by Macaulay, who I guess with the 14-point lead, feels like right now they are on their way.
Yeah, they look less stressed than the beginning of the game. They look comfortable right now. They're still playing hard. They still want to get stops. They still want to get scores. But with a 14-point lead, the turnover and Dabu, I mean, maybe just some of the inexperience coming out. Nice job there by Makinora finishing. You know, look at this. I mean, they're not, we've seen so many games of runs and comebacks in this tournament in the second half. So obviously you need to play every possession hard and strong.
Did you see Hewley dribble behind his back and then the ball hit Kone and he went up and apologized? So the game is not going the way that Mali wanted, but again, you would hope that it would hurt and it would force them to get back in the gym and play even harder. That's Koulibaly, now Dabu. Koulibaly and rips the cords from downtown to get it back to a 13-point deficit. At the end of the day, Shona, you just got to keep playing. You got to play hard, and what you can do is the one thing you can control is your effort. And as long as you put in the effort, you might have a chance to at least come back and get a narrow win. Now here is a steal. And if they can get a narrow win, that would at least give them a chance. They'd be pulling for France, and there is a shot by Kone. They get it to her down low.
That's where you need to get her the ball. You need to throw it up, let her go get it, finish around the basket. Nice pass there by Koulibaly. I thought she was going to settle for the 3, but no. So after a steal, and now it's only back to 11-point game.
But they can't give that away.
And you know, you talked about technically maybe Nigeria is a little bit stronger than Mali. Absolutely, I agree with you, Jeff. But also, I mean, Coach Otis Hewley Jr.
Oh, look at that.
Now this is
Just
a turnover.
And Dabu fouls. Yeah, just a couple of really bad turnovers by Dabu.
Little inexperience coming out right now, I think, by Dabu and Mali. And you know, so Coach Hewley, he's been with Nigeria since 2018, where they were in the FIBA Women's World Cup in Tenerife, Spain. You know, they finished 8th at that event. So they made it to the quarterfinals. They went on. So, you know, he has done really good things with this country, this program, and he's been around for a few years. Possibly, maybe.
Continuity.
Yeah, we'll see Coach Brizuela from Mali, you know, in a few years, in the same kind of a situation, building up the program, getting players, young players to buy in. Maybe we'll see the same kind of success for Mali in the near future.
They do give it over. No, they turn it over, and then Chittum throws it away.
We're gonna talk to the ref about something.
I think she had the right idea. She just made the bad pass.
I don't know if she thought she was fouled. Mali made that appearance in the World Cup back in 2010, Jeff.
In Turkey.
It didn't win. No, 2010, the Czech Republic.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. 2014 was Turkey.
That was their only appearance. They finished 15th at that event when that event had 16 teams. Now we know that there'll be 12 teams in Sydney at this year's FIBA World Cup.
And McCauley gets down low and draws the foul. We know Korea are going to be there. We know Serbia will be there. France will be there.
Australia.
Australia is the host, USA Olympic champions. Japan, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Canada. Belgium have, see, we still got Puerto Rico. Belgium have gone 1-1. They've got to play Russia. Puerto Rico right now 0-2. They got to play Russia. So only the USA from Washington D.C. group has qualified. Pereira missing. And really you kind of have to bunch. As you look at Okonkwo launch and make the 3, you kind of have to put Brazil in the same boat as Mali in terms of they've come here and there was marked progress from their opening day performance to their second day, and it's tough news for them to know that after 2 days they will not be progressing. They've still got a game to play, but we have seen the shoots of recovery for Brazil that they have got some real talent, young talent. Camilla, Stephanie, especially Nani. Yeah,
Okay,
Mariana
Nani,
de Carvalho.
23, yeah, you know.
So, but they've got some good players, and it's just the great thing about these World Cup qualifiers again is they're also, even though they're not progressing there, they're here. In many respects, you could just say the World Cup has already started because this was a competition they needed to progress in to go on. So let's try to listen to Coach Brizuela.
Arrête de dire, ils peuvent prendre faute. Mais si nous pas sommes agressifs dans l'attaque, nous avons problème. Nous avons parlé en tant que Marcel dans la défense le cœur. Mais aussi aujourd'hui, nous avons besoin de cœur. Nous devons jouer dur en attaque. Avec conviction et dur. Il fait pas non. Et on va jouer quelquefois. On va jouer quelquefois 5. Pour jouer 5. Les candidats dès Geneva, tu verras pas nous.
Ok,
Allez, on va.
So, not happy looks on the faces of the Malian contingent.
I mean, compared to, I thought they played very well against France. And I thought for maybe a good 25 minutes, they really gave China a game. And today, they look a little bit more tired to me than we saw in the previous 2 games.
Koulibaly gets in. Oh, it doesn't drop. Oh, great rebound. Back outside to Koulibaly. And again, Kone keeping it alive.
McCauley say, calm down.
Kone with 12 points, 11 rebounds, by the way. There's McCauley. She has to launch it, and that was a risky reach there by Koulibaly, but she knocked it out of bounds and didn't foul.
Good job defensively by Mali getting back. Nice offensive rebound by Kone. We've seen some incredible athletic moves by the youngster Kone for Mali, only 19 years old, playing in Spain professionally, has been there a couple years now.
Gran Canaria. Oh, double dribble called on Njai. So the turnovers have been a real problem for Mali. They now have 20. Quick pass into the paint, knocked away by Kone, but falls, and then Koulibaly. Now they're going to get a break, and it's going to be Njai. Oh, misses the layup, but the hustle, great play by Koulibaly. That's got to please you more than anything, Brizuela, that Koulibaly hustled down the floor to score with a putback.
Yeah, a lot of people might have thought this is going to be an automatic 2 points. But another thing, I mean, right now, every possession, every score by Mali, you got to pick up. You got to pick up full court and try and get some steals, put some pressure on Nigeria if you want to give yourselves a chance to get back in this game, heading into the fourth quarter.
You know where Nicole Inabasi played college basketball?
Did not.
You want to venture a guess?
Now I'm cheating.
Delaware.
Delaware.
Yeah, you know who else played there, don't you?
I do know who else played there. A woman.
Elena.
Pretty well known in the basketball world, USA basketball world, Elena Del Don. They played at the same time.
Inabasi just left in 2020.
She's young.
Koulibaly. Yeah, she arrived I think 2 years after Deladon had left Delaware. Deladon, the USA superstar, WNBA superstar. Here's in a Bosse. Ball knocked away, picked up, and Okonkwo travels.
And you know, if Nigeria does qualify for the World Cup, Jeff, are we going to see maybe a different team in Sydney?
Well, I don't know, because I don't think so. I mean, I think you will, because you'll see a couple of other players coming back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, Kalu,
Yeah.
Akator perhaps. She did miss last summer, but she is, you know, playing professionally over in France right now, having a good
I don't know
season.
why she doesn't want to play for whatever reason, but I would have said that she was pivotal for them. Now, the way these other players have come on, I'm not sure that she is. Great. And the ball stay at this end. Or maybe the door is still open for her to come back. I don't know.
We did unfortunately see number 2 for Mali go down, Sangare. Aminata Sangare go down in that first game, Jeff, remember? And from what we know, it's a pretty serious knee injury.
Yeah.
Which you hate to see that.
I understood that it was a torn ACL from someone with Mali.
How's your French?
Well,
French or English?
he said it was broken. This tendon.
So yeah, that's
But
unfortunate. We wish her a speedy recovery.
she's watching at the end of the bench over there. You can see.
She's been at every game, cheering her teammates on. Saw Chittum there with a nice defensive possession last time down through the offensive charge.
Derek Chittum from California. Played at Duke University.
Currently plays in France. Her coach is an assistant coach for this French national team. So you mentioned it. I wonder how practice is going to be for her first day back in France with her team, Angers.
Yeah, she's been putting in the minutes here. And Tereda commits the foul. But again, that's another thing. You know, you talk about a lot of these players for Nigeria. They've played at a very high level. And we get a couple of Nigerian-based players coming in. Musa, and also coming into the game, Kim Akarewe. Akarawe, excuse me. And the first one is good by Okonkwo. I think more important than anything for Nigeria, they got what was a statement win. Yeah, the mission was to get to the World Cup. It looks like they're on their way, leading by 20, unless we see something incredibly special. Njai from downtown. And that is it for the third quarter. So Nigeria 10 minutes away from officially booking their place in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, leading at 64-44 over Mali.
Well, Mali, 3 of 20 from three-point range. You know, I think some of their three-point shots have been open, but their best bet, their best scoring is when they attack the paint, they get it inside Sakone, and for large stretches, they get away from that, Jeff. And I think I mean, it's affecting them. They're not able to score. So what do? You got to score some other way. And that's getting the ball inside. Incredibly, Nigeria have shot 32 free throw attempts. They're only 22 of 32, so they're kind of getting, Mali are getting lucky compared to just Mali are only 7 of 11. So I think that just shows you how much more aggressive Nigeria are playing, especially start of the second, end of this third quarter. We've really seen them pick up their intensity. And so far, I think you can tell why Nigeria are the AfroBasket champions, have been the last few events. You know why they were at the Olympics, they were at the last World Cup. They possibly, in my opinion, still are the best African nation team.
Yep, there's no doubt about it, folks. Get the QR code, put your phone up to there, get that in your smartphone, and you can just gobble up a lot of information. It'll take you straight to the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifier website for the latest stats, news, info, and we're looking at it all the time, and so should you. You got to remember that Mali came out here with the right approach today. They were focused. They led at the end of the first quarter, 22-20. In fact, they led by as many as 5 points in the game.
Nice little shot. And again, they didn't settle for an outside shot. That was Guerrera. She now has 8 points, and that's what they need to do. They need to chip away at this lead. They need to get stops, and they need to score inside the paint, maybe draw some fouls.
Promise Amukamara. She drills it.
So Promise, who has, kind of been quiet, you could say, but she's had a couple big three-pointers.
Talking about the college games, she played at Arizona State, 2011, 2015. And drilling that one. Of course, she's also got a famous brother who won a Super Bowl in America, Prince Amukamara with the New York Giants. It's what I call a sports family. And even though, as the referees are discussing what happened there, making sure they're on the same page, let's see. I want to look at the video. Otis Hewley is coaching, trying to draw something up for his teammate, using this as a coaching moment, a teaching moment. Let's listen in.
Ball touch to the floor right now. What do you say?
It's 0.4 at the moment when the ball touches the floor, so we should go with 0.4 on the shot.
Confirm. And 8:50, it's correct. Just change the shot clock, 0.4.
Shona, the next game is going to be Australia-Korea.
0.4 on the shot clock. Game clock remains.
So a chance
0.4
for Mali.
You have 0.4. You have 0.4 on the shot clock.
0.4. You don't want to give up a foul. You hear McCollum telling her teammates that.
And Koulibaly got up a pretty decent shot from out there. And how did Chittum turn that over?
Mental breakdown by Chittum. I'm not sure what she thought. Maybe she thought the ref blew the whistle because it was a shot clock violation. I don't know. She just, I think that's a fatigue mental breakdown.
Faking the handoff, Kone then gets inside. Somehow manages to put it outside. And the three-pointer falls. Well, that's one way to get an assist for Kone. Njai hitting another three. Well, good job by Macaulay setting a pick, and here's Chittum missing. Kone doesn't rebound it though. It's Inabase who gets it, and Macaulay misses, and now a chance to run. And Triari gets it to go. I thought she made a mistake. I thought she should have pulled up instead of taking on Chittum, but she was able to score it.
Way to use her body, protect the ball there.
You'd almost hope to see Molly make this more of a closer score at least, to kind of leave with a favorable impression. Yep, or a better impression. And the reality, Shona, is even though I think mentally everybody, including us, are saying Nigeria going to win this game, the reality is there's 7:51 remaining, 16 points down, and if Mali can play the type of defense that you know, I felt like they needed to play at the start of the game and create some turnovers and score some baskets, you know what? They could make it interesting. It's unlikely, but you never know. And Palace traveling here, so that turns it back over.
You know, absolutely, Jeff. You put a few consecutive stops and scores together, and this game is right back in reach.
And now a three, and sure enough, Njai, and people starting to stir over on the Mali bench.
Now it's about trying to get another stop, digging down, getting another stop, and a score.
Yengifa, air ball, and I think Hewlett might get a timeout because Mali are creeping back into the game. Ferreira turns and looks at the referee and says, wasn't that a foul? But Inabase, perhaps a little bit underrated, getting the block. Watch this. Oh, just all ball. Great play by Inabase. So Kwankwo back into the game. Yengifa goes out. Traore. Hewley is really is talking to Yengifa. You can see him over there discussing that missed three. Now the dump. Palace back outside. Kwankwo feeds set short. And Koulibaly brings it forward from Mali. Up ahead it goes. Njai looks good. It is good. It's a 10-point game. And Mali resurrecting their hopes right before us. And what I like about Njai, she knows she needs to get the shots up. They need to get the shots up. There's no time to waste.
Good job by her. You saw, I mean, we saw, not sure you saw it on television, but Promise Makimura was looking over to the bench like, yo, coach, you need to call a timeout.
Wow, and look at that. Great reach, knocks it over to Kone. Njai again, that's off.
I mean, why not? She's hit too, so.
That was the right play.
Njai right now, 14 points, 4 of 7 from three-point range. She does have those 4 turnovers, though.
Promise to Mukamara, shot clock winding down, and Kwankwo doesn't realize it. Now she does. She's got to put it up. Oh, and she's fouled. Can you believe it? With 0.2 seconds on the shot clock.
Let's see this, Jeff.
Yeah.
The way the game has been played, though, that's not a big foul in this game.
It's a frustrating foul for Mali because you're about to get the basketball.
Yeah.
Now Duba, who is back in the game after having that tough spell, she's got to bring the positive body language. But meanwhile, I think this is a good timeout by Hewley. You don't see the look of panic in the eyes of the Tigress, but I think they just kind of need to, you know, calm down a little bit.
No, I think this is a needed timeout. You know, they still have a 10-point lead, 5:45. That being said, you put a little bit of...
Look who's giving the timeout. Bealer's just letting them talk about it.
Run back! Run back! Find shooters! Yeah. That's their run! That's their run! Hey, wait. Offense, you're gonna bring it out and then side on ball. Yes! Take time. Bring it back out. Run the play. Let them play defense.
You guys, y'all stop running your mouth. These girls ain't got in here at all. They don't say a word. You guys always got, I don't care what I'm doing. You don't need to say nothing. Let's go. All right, now listen. In here, promise. Let's run 2 down again. All right, let's see if we can get it to Nicole. Because they're pushing us and y'all letting them bully you. You're letting them bully you. All right, 2 down. Here we go.
Hey, let's go. Slow the time. No fast shots. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Together.
Well, Kone, surprise, surprise, double-double. 12 points, 12 rebounds, only 2 points in the second half, but just a terrific effort by the 19-year-old. And Radovic amongst the spectators here on the left. National Federations and Sport Director of FIBA. Played for Yugoslavia's national team back in the day. Also played at Wichita State. And now here is Nigeria. See how they are coming out of the timeout, if they've calmed down. And Inabasi gets it and has it blocked. And Duba up to Njai. Oh, what a bounce pass to Kone, who great hustle back on defense by Cheatham. Kone needed to make that shot.
Good defensive possession, though. I like that layup. I mean, it was a tough layup, but that's what you got to do. You got to get stops and try and get quick scores.
Kwankwo goes off her hands and out of bounds. Kwankwo says, my bad, I should have had that.
So Nolu checking back in the game for Nigeria.
Yeah, the steadying influence of Adara Elonu. Njai, she's been as hot as a firecracker. She's got the basketball. Koulibaly can nail it. She hasn't been as hot today. And now they've got trouble. They got to put it up. Njai does get it up in time and misses everything. And there is Chidham helping Kone up. That was a good box out. Watch this box out at the end. And again, Chidham helping her up. 4.5 minutes remaining. Mali have been getting the stops. Can they continue to do that to give themselves a chance? Inabasi drives in. Oh boy, that's a tough shot, tough finish.
Great job there. Nice patience on offense for Nigeria. Much needed score.
Dabu. And Dabu gets it right back. Much better from Dabu. I'd like to see her get the positive vibes back. She had a rough spell there. Mali do not want to give up the easy shots. That last one was a little bit too straightforward. And again, they give up the easy one. They go out to guard the perimeter, and Okwankwo just goes right past them.
Nice take. Like you said, Nigeria are not taking a lot of threes, but they're also not making a lot. So you need to close the pace if you're Mali.
Oh, great D by Okwankwo. You know, those Mali players keep looking at the ref. Isn't that a foul? Isn't that a foul? But look at this. That's all ball. Njai, she knows that she's the one that needs to get some space to shoot it. Koulibaly as well. And now it's Nigeria that is playing the great defense. Not only the reach to prevent the drive by Njai, but look at this. Look at Inabasi moving her feet on defense.
She's had a great game for them today.
Yeah, she's been kind of a that's almost a charge. She's on the perhaps vying for a spot on the all revelation team for me, along with the Kwankwo. They dump it down low to Okwankwo, and a chance. And Kone, she's got to make this one. Does not, but Torreira there for the follow. It's back to a 10-point game, folks. Still time for Mali.
Still lots of time, Jeff. Mali not backing down, not giving up. They know what's on the line. If they could at least get a win.
Yeah, exactly. And
we talked about that 7 points, but if they could at least get a win.
And then hope for France to beat China.
Yep.
Quanquo. But they got to get stops, and they have not been able to a couple of times here, but they do that time. And again, Duba. Do what you do, Duba. And there for the rebound and the foul by Elonu. Puts Kone on the line. Is that 4? And
that's her 5th, Jeff.
oh, she's gone.
She is.
She was on 4. That's why she was on the bench. So Palace comes back into the game. And Macaulay comes back in. And Hewley not taking any chances, bringing in his frontline players here, trying to close this thing out. And Kone, who again has the double-double in points and rebounds. And further indication that Mali have definitely taken a step forward to come back and make this a game late. Maybe Mali of 4 years ago would have crumbled.
Yeah.
This Mali has not.
Yeah, exactly. Their progression.
Promise. Amukamara. Ow, she doesn't get it. But the rebound by Palace. Well, they rode their luck there with Promise Amukamara missing the layup, but they didn't get the rebound. Now the pass knocked away, deflected into the hands of Duba. Duba, oh, she hits the shot, and look at that. Mali clawing their way back now, just 6 points between them. And suddenly, and Palace can't save it.
Turnover. But Jeff, I mean, this tournament has absolutely been crazy. How many times have we seen this?
Exciting stuff. Is Palace trying to do too much there, or?
I think she just lost the ball.
Just kind of lost control.
Yeah.
It's a timeout, minute and a half. Hey, folks, call the family back home. Tell them to turn on the TV. This thing isn't over.
We need Palace. I mean, you got Amy, you got O'Dara. We have to box 14 out. And you got to get back on defense, guys. All the baskets are transition. And it's 11 just putting their head down going and nobody's stepping in.
Just foul. Yeah. We have time. In 1 minute. Just out.
Stop and do something.
We don't have to rush to score.
But no, it's hard for Coach Hewley to get a word in.
Hey, let's get starters plus Amy. Let's go.
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Together.
Oh, the Malian faithful watching, thinking, praying, hoping, sensing, you name it, they're doing it. They have not given up the ghost. And Koulibaly there, who had that big game, and you just feel the self-belief in this Malian team. They just shows the power of that self-belief, the way they have battled back. They're not quitting. And the long 3, and that would have been big if she'd been able to knock it down, but Njai did not.
Now Mali needs to get another stop.
Promise. Another basket by Nigeria might just be the clincher. Mukamara, oh, loses it. And now she's got open up ahead, Njai. And puts it up, and look at this, folks, it's a 4-point game. You cannot write the script any more dramatic. Mali looked dead and buried. And for all the incredible scenes of the Nigerian comeback against France, this one might be even better. And now they're gonna force a turnover. She kicked it. It is Mali basketball.
4-point game, 53 seconds left, and Mali, you see the hope and belief in their play.
Shouted from the rooftops down in Bamako. Your team is in it, folks. You have got a chance. And suddenly, this is a very nervous final 53 seconds for Nigeria. If Mali score here, anything can happen. Njai. Kone steps back. Oh, a long jump shot. Well, you would have thought maybe they'd get a better shot than that. Nigeria want to take time off the clock. Kone goes out and guards. Chin of the throw right into the hands of Koulibaly. Aminata Koulibaly goes down. Hassan fouled. You cannot be serious. Promise, Amukamara.
I think she was trying to foul on the ground, but I mean, that's the right call. That's an easy call. And one, just 22 seconds left. Mali.
The drama of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifiers. Unbelievable. A stunning comeback by Mali.
In this fourth quarter. In this last, actually 5 minutes.
This can't be right. What is the...
Yeah, we're leading by 21 points in the second half.
On va faire pression. Nous les terrains,
Looking at the score.
très intense. Nous avons
2-point game.
Nous pouvons faire défaut. Avant elle, aller. Et nous devons prendre la balle.
So 71-69, Nigeria on top. Mali going to the free throw line. This could be the stunner of all stunners if Mali win. They have outscored Nigeria 25-7 in this fourth quarter. They have risen from the dead. Stunning, absolutely stunning. And Brizuela, whatever he did, whatever he said between the third and fourth quarters, maybe he didn't. Maybe the Mali players just figured it out themselves. You just never stop. You got to play all 40 minutes, and that is what we have seen. And this is a huge free throw. Don't forget, Nigeria have missed a lot of free throws today. And Koulibaly, oh boy, that was one that she did not want to miss. And Nigeria get the rebound, and that was the strategy, was to commit the foul.
They have to foul, Jeff. They have 2 more fouls to get before bonus. They need the ball. They need to go for a win, so they're going to have to try to go for a quick steal or probably foul again right away.
Nigeria has gradually gotten better shooting free throws. And so now they have committed 4 fouls. And that was close. Coming from the side, as we know, committing the foul like that. One thing was she was not leading the fast break. So timeout again with 14 seconds left. And I don't know, I just feel like we have not seen the end of this one.
This is our bench. This is us. Okay, who's in? O'Dare? Yeah. O'Dare, you're right here. Okay, Vicky is in the back. Promise is second. And Atonya right here. Atonya, you run this way. Okay, Promise, you go here. Nicole's taking out. Better yet, T, you take it out. Nicole, you run here. T takes it out. Promise run there. Vicky, come right back to the basketball. If you have it, come up, go this way, O'Dare. Let's get O'Dare the ball. Yeah, no, just step toward it, make her guard you, and then we'll throw it this way. Hey, give it to Promise.
Finish on 3, 1, 2, 3.
So Nigeria turning it over here, and Aminata Koulibaly going in and making the shot, excuse me, Traore making the shot. but missing the free throw. Remember, Nigeria wins, they qualify for the World Cup. If they lose at this stage, it means a France win over China would then put Mali in the World Cup instead of Nigeria. Of course, it could always go to overtime, you never know, and Mali could win by 7 or more. But we're either going to see a steal, you would think, or free throws. And Macaulay gets it. Valuable time running off the clock. Ngifa, they got a foul. They got a foul. They did. 8 seconds to go.
I think they gave up a little bit too much time, Jeff. They needed to foul earlier. Definitely you go for the steal, but then you got to foul a little bit earlier.
Well, Duba did reach in, I think, trying. And Ngifa, she goes to the line. 3 of 8 at the charity stripe today. She's had a horror show.
5 fouls for Koulibaly. She has to go to the bench. Number 12 for Mali.
So if she makes one of these two, would Nigeria foul to prevent the 3-point attempt? So she makes the one. Now she makes this one. It is going to be very difficult for Mali.
Mali still do have 1 timeout. Coach has 1 timeout left.
Well, she's certainly concentrated to make sure those went in.
She's not going to call a timeout.
Oh, boy. They had fouls to give. And Hooley telling the refs that was a travel, but I didn't see a travel.
It's definitely a foul. So Nigeria still have another foul to give before bonus.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're going to commit it. They don't want it to be an unsportsmanlike, though. They got to be careful.
Mali do have a timeout.
Chedham knocks it out of bounds. Oh, almost, I think almost a full second went off the clock there. Now they need a prayer. You know, if you're Nigeria now, you do not foul the 3-point shooter. That's the one thing that you simply cannot do. So if somebody goes up for a 3, you don't try to block it. You let them have it. You don't go for it. Oh, that's close. She could have gotten into the shooting motion while she was committing that foul. That's a dangerous play. Don't you think right now, you just don't even guard them? You take away the middle, right? You don't even guard them on the perimeter. You just let them shoot because the amount of time that's going to fly through the air. You don't
foul you know what?
And well, Nigeria hold on against a furious 4th quarter comeback. They survive against Mali and they clinch their spot in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. That was yet another entertaining game. 73 to 69. Nigeria win it over Mali. They are on the plane to Sydney.
We talk about entertainment, Jeff. You and I have been privileged, spoiled at this tournament here in Belgrade with the kind of games, excitement, comebacks.
Yeah, it's been terrific stuff. Talk us through these stats.
I mean, really look at that 3-point shooting, 28 attempts. They only made 6 for Mali. They were so efficient and so much better when they went inside, when they attacked the basket. And you saw them pick up their defense, especially in the 4th quarter, leading to fast break points. And really, that's what got them back in the game. I think they settled early for too many outside shots. That being said, I mean, I think Mali, I know they haven't qualified, and I know there's going to be disappointment on their faces, but there has to be a lot of very positive things to take away from this experience, from this tournament, for this Mali team and the Federation of Mali. So I'm very, very excited for them. And Nigeria, look at them, all smiles.
They have done it. They have achieved. That was really the only thing they wanted was to book their ticket. Not only have they won against France, they have beaten their African rivals in a rematch of the FIBA Women's AfroBasket, but you simply cannot say enough about Mali, the way they dug in and battled back. They were sensational.
Yeah, no, they were. And talk about Nigeria, you know, you and I don't want to say worried, but didn't think they were as strong as maybe in past competitions we've seen them. And against France the other day, game day 2, boy, did they prove that they can still compete with some of the best in the world. Came back down by 20 to win against France, a 2-point win. Tonight, we saw them in control the entire game.
Well, for 3 quarters.
For 3 quarters, sorry, yeah. Tough fourth quarter, but guess what, Jeff? They hung in. They came up with the win. I know it wasn't a big win.
Well, probably better to say they were in control for the second and third quarters, since they were trailing just by 2 at the end of the first. But they were in complete control in the third quarter. There was no way back for Mali. And yet again, we are reminded. I mean, even we are guilty of thinking they've done this, you know, and they haven't. You know, Mali. It had more to do with Mali, I think, than Nigeria, but Nigeria did not help themselves the way they performed in that fourth quarter. And then Mali started making some shots. Njai got a little bit hot and just served up a reminder that you have to play the entire 40 minutes. Whether you're winning, whether you're losing, you don't give up. You got to keep competing.
Exactly, Jeff. And, you know, it seemed as though Nigeria were going to run away with this game, and that's competition for you. You have to play 40-minute game, or teams are going to come back. And I think it'll be a big learning experience also for Nigeria. Like, hey, we can't, you know, just think we're rolling. We're not talented enough to just cruise. You saw it happen against France and Nigeria. So every minute counts for every team, and congratulations to Nigeria. What an exciting game.
I think some of the issues maybe that they had were maybe a shortage of players coming in for the backcourt, and maybe that'll.
Nigeria?
Yeah, I think maybe if Kalu had been here and Sarah as well.
Right.
I think that would have helped them, but you know, don't take anything away from Mali, because again, you know, after their first performance against France, we were like, you know what? When they play Nigeria, they might just do it. And they also kind of showed that they are indeed a team, a country moving in the right direction. So we know that Senegal put a lot into women's basketball. You know, Nigeria right now, up at the top. But here it is, 73-69. Nigeria win it. So they get 2 wins. They actually go to the top temporarily, anyway, of Tournament B, ahead of China, who will take on France, and then Mali, despite having some really solid play, finish 0-3. But I think they should be confident that they are on the right path to being a power in Africa and ready to be a major player perhaps on the world stage.